How to get paid to travel the world? Become a travel influencer. So you want to travel the world and make money doing it. Great, but where do you start? First, we got to share with you a trend that's shaping today's society, and we'll call it the influencer economy. In short, if you were to look at how businesses used to run in the olden days, and they want to sell a product, say it was someone like McDonald's, and they want to sell a burger, how would they do it? A bunch of dudes in a boardroom are going to talk about, all right, well, which agency should we hire? They're going to hire a $1 million agency who comes up with a crazy creative idea of how they're going to sell and market this burger. Then they're going to pay a production company to go ahead and make this come to life. Then they need to pay to get that piece of content seen in the world, and hopefully in their target audience. So that's sort of how it used to be. Now, it still exists today as well, and it has its place. It's a $1 billion industry, but things are starting to shift, and that's what we've learned how to capitalize on. And there's a new way that things are emerging with the use of social media and influencers like us who have small targeted audiences. You cut out all the middlemen. You're going straight to someone who comes up with a creative idea, makes the content themselves, and has the audience to distribute this piece of content to that's specifically catered to whatever the brand's needs are. It's quite interesting, and if you can learn how to capitalize on this, you will become a motherfucking influencer. JSB plug.
Now, what is an influencer? Well, an influencer is essentially somebody who has a following on the internet that they have influence over. At least that's how brands see it in the marketing digital space world. It's a huge industry. It's ridiculously huge. Instagram alone has had like over $1 billion last year spent on influencer marketing, and it's brand new. You know, it hasn't been around. Like, the whole industry has just emerged. Basically, it emerged when social media emerged and people started building followings on social media. What happened? When the internet came and social media came, everybody suddenly had a voice. It didn't matter anymore if you're a $1 million corporation or if you're Joe Schmo from your mom's garage. You can make a video, you can take some photos, and you could build a following. It actually took brands a long time to catch up. People who grew up in this were just better. They just intuitively figured it out. They figured out how to, create social media channels and followings, and how to optimize and how to speak to their audience, how to connect with people. And brands couldn't figure that out. They had to catch up. Influencers, people, they have a more genuine voice because they have a connection with people, right? People connect to people. It's very simple. So what does a brand do these days? They find somebody who has an influence or a following in a specific niche, and they pay them money to promote their product. Think about it this way. Before the internet, how did it work? You had Tiger Woods, for example, professional golfer. Nike comes to Tiger Woods, says, hey, we will give you a bunch of Nike stuff and a bunch of money, so you only golf with our Nike clubs and wear our Nike hats and stuff. And so Tiger Woods says, great, I'll take $20 million and I will be a Nike diehard endorser. So now you got Tiger Woods golfing, and he's on TV, he's doing interviews, and he's always wearing Nike. And so when other golfers or other people who follow or like Tiger Woods, they see him wearing Nike, they might potentially buy Nike. I mean, that's how it works in a nutshell. The difference now is there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who have followings in different niches on the internet who can basically be brand endorsers. And so brands recognize that. They recognize that it's a lot cheaper to get a bunch of 20-year-old kids to promote their product than it is to pay Tiger Woods. And they also recognize that it makes a lot more sense to leverage other people who already have done something that they're still struggling to do, which is build an engaged and trusting following online. That's what an influencer is, right? Travel is just a specific niche. What we've done. We figured out that, hey, if we can make travel videos and if we can continue traveling and make content around that, then we can work with travel brands. So hotels, airlines, tour companies, bag companies, product companies, whatever, right? Anything really kind of fits the niche. And so now either brands can come to us and say, hey, do you guys want to promote this product, or do you want to take this trip? Or we can be proactive. We can make a list of who are the brands that we think are cool, who do we want to work with. And then we can start sending out emails saying, hey, we've got a trip coming up, or hey, we've got an idea for a video. Do you guys want to partner up? They say, yeah, cool, we'd love to learn more. Or they say, nah, not interested, whatever, right? It becomes a numbers game. But that's the big difference, I think. A lot of people, they kind of wait for things to come in and they see what happens. Not too many people go on the offensive. Not too many people say, okay, what do I actually want? Be proactive, create like a pitch, right? You're essentially just pitching your product, your brand, or yourself to people and to make money with it. Okay, so how do you become a travel influencer? Everyone is unique. What you have to understand is it's not that complicated. The people who are best at this, they're kids.
What you talking about, Willis?
Young kids who basically grow up on Instagram, grow up on YouTube. They know how it works. They know what, intuitively, without really thinking about it, they know what just performs and how to make these videos or how to make this content get shared and stuff. What I'm saying is it's a matter of consistently doing it and learning, but it's not that complicated. All you need to do is figure out what it is that you're passionate about. What is your angle? What's your niche? Is it just your personality? Are you a food blogger? Are you a fitness person? Or do you want to report the news in third world countries? Who knows? Whatever it is, like everyone can have an angle and everyone can have their own personality that they can bring to it. And no matter what, yours is going to be unique. And if you can make your content engaging and different, people will follow you and you will grow that audience. You might not be able to, start getting paid for it right away because you need to build up a little momentum. So maybe you pay for some of your first trips. Maybe you just get a little bit of momentum going and then you're now able to leverage that. So you have an idea for what you want to do, what kind of content you want to make. Let me just clarify, you don't even have to be in front of the camera if you don't want to. There's a ton of people who shoot other things, or there's people who curate content. You don't even really need to make content if you don't want to. Think about all these big online magazines like Unilad or Tech Insider or Travel Insider, for example, right? All they do is they reach out to other influencers and say, hey, can I borrow your content? And I'll tag you in it. And so they grow a brand around that, and which they can leverage into working with other brands and making money and so on. It doesn't really matter if you're a personality or if you're online magazine or a blog, right? Personality is cool because people do connect with people, and I think as a personality you might be able to maybe make more money for what you're doing. However, as a blog or as a curation brand, you can pretty much promote wherever you want because your face isn't really as attached to it. So you do have a lot of freedom there. Okay, so what's the next step? You figured out what kind of content you're gonna make. You've started making some videos, you're putting them out there. What good is it if no one sees it, right? It's a two-piece part. Yes, there's a creative, but there's definitely a business element to it. And if you want to make a living out of this, you have to think of this as a business, right? So you have to market your business. You have to get that momentum. You have to just really just seed your content to some extent so that people can see it, right? Because you can be the best photographer, videographer in the world, but if no one's watching your videos, then what's the point? You're kind of falling flat. So many people focus on content and they just kind of just put it out there and forget about it. They don't do the marketing, right? You have to give at least the same amount of attention to marketing your content as you do to producing it, which means reaching out to relevant blogs or pages and sending it to people who might be interested in it, connecting with other influencers or other people in your space, cross-promoting each other. There's a bunch of stuff that you could proactively be doing to try and get your content views or exposure or likes or whatever it is. Just get some traction on social media, because once you have that traction and you're able to you have a voice, you have a package of content and a little bit of a following. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. We went on our first trip for free when we had 3,000 subscribers. And I'm talking 4 dudes a month paid in Europe. So it blew our mind at the time. Now we're okay, now how do we actually get paid for this? And as we grew our brand, we were able to actually make money with it, which has been, it's been a blessing, and it's all thanks to you guys watching these videos. So I'm really stoked to be able to pass this on and share this, because this is one of the questions we've always been asked since day one. How do you travel the world? How can I do what you do? How do I make money online? This elusive world. It's not that elusive, man. There's so many people who are doing this. We are definitely not unique. We have a ton of friends who are doing the same thing that we're doing, actually probably way better than we're doing, that have capitalized on this trend, on this new emerging influencer economy, where they do what they love, they follow their passions, they create content, they're creative individuals who love doing it, and they get paid to do it. The key here is basically whatever it is that you love to do, you can take that, apply this influencer thing that's happening to it, and then you can just literally get paid to do what you love, which is incredible. It's a blessing to live in this day and age.
If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave us a comment or ask us a question if you have something. I'll be sure to answer you. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and most importantly, if you want to learn more, click on the link down below and join our mailing list where we're going to share a bit more details into this world. And hopefully if you want to become a travel influencer, we'll be able to help you out.